And the next talk will be by Stan Orezo, Amniotic Membrane for AMD.
Good afternoon. Thanks to involve me in this wonderful program. No financial interest to disclose. This is our amniotic membrane. It's composed by 3 layers. The first layer is the epithelium, full of stem cells, the stroma, and the coronal layer. The coronal layer has some adhesive properties. It remains adherent to tissue, as a retinal or retinal pink epithelium. It remains adherent also to your instrumentation, like a forceps. But the most important thing is that human amniotic membrane produces a variety of growth factors. We already demonstrate that human amniotic membrane is useful to promote retinal breaks repair and recurrent macular closure. We close with this technique recurrent macular larger than 1,000 micron. And we had not only anatomical but also functional results. This was the first time we operated now more than 4 years ago, with after 6 months, retinal tissue was overlapping the amniotic membrane plaque. We proceed in exploring the capacity of this technique. This idea came when I was operating the single eye light perception man, secondary to big clot in the retinal space, and when we remove the clot, we remove also the macula. At that time, we used this large piece of amniotic membrane in subretinal and macular space to cover complete the area in which the macula was destroyed. At the end of the surgery, of course, we used silicone oil. And after some months, the patient recovered a useful ambulatory vision. After 3 months of CT, we saw on the retina, on the plaque of the retina, some layers of the retina. So for this reason, we explored the possibility to use the amniotic membrane in advanced macular degeneration. You know that artificial Brooks membrane is a dream of every retinal surgeon. We have some excellent research by the group of Mark Mayun and Lyndon da Cruz. The artificial Brooks membrane has to have 3 requirements: permeability, of course, supporting the adherence and proliferation of RP cells, and to be affordable. I like to show some preliminary results of use of subretinal membrane in late age macular degeneration. We operated 11 cases, 11 patients, 5 patients suffering from atrophic macular degeneration, 6 patients with a massive subretinal hemorrhage secondary to CNV. The surgery was the same in both the problems. We perform about 200 degrees retinectomy in the periphery in order to expose the submacular space. We remove on your left the clot, and we use a large disc of amniotic membrane in the place where the macula was, of course. And there was on the your left was the hemorrhagic, and on your right the atrophic area on the advanced macular degeneration. In all this case, we use silicone oil tamponade at the hand. I'd like to show some cases. This was the submacular hemorrhage involved with the posterior before the surgery. This was after 20 days. You see the amniotic membrane perfect in situ, no sign of immunological reaction, no sign of inflammation. I showed this before the surgery after 6 months of follow-up with long-term persistence of the membrane. It was no sign of fibrosis. This was another case, 1 month follow-up. You see the patch in the membrane is covering perfectly the posterior pole. You see some remnants of membrane on the edge, some RP cell proliferation, and some easy interruption only in the area in which we have atrophic or lack of amniotic membrane. This is another case after 20 months follow-up. The patch of amniotic membrane is still covering the macula. You see some hyperactive line may be related to a potentially easy recovery. It is the undulated hyperactive line may be corresponding to anal fiber layer, and the partial ELM restoration attempt. This was one of the cases in which the amniotic was not covering perfectly all the area of the atrophic macula. You see the post-operative period, you see only in the area in which we have the patch, use of EZ restoration, and the use of ELM restoration. So we carry out also, of course, some adaptive optics with detection of some photoreceptors. This is the patch, and the area which the patch is, we have some bright spots, dots correspond to photoreceptors. This is the edge of the membrane. You see we have some bright spots correspond to the edge of the membrane. Maybe the photoreceptors migrate on the membrane. So, and finally, with OCT findings, we saw that we have some increase after the surgery, more significantly in the capillary plexus, maybe for the trophic effect on retinal vasculature by the membrane. And finally, the microperimetry. This was the contralateral eye with atrophic macular degeneration. After, in the fellow eye, you see you have some large atrophy, but higher retinal sensibility compared with the fellow eye. This was another case before the surgery. After 2 months follow-up, we have some mild increase in central sensitivity. So, how to introduce the large piece of amniotic membrane through this small cannula? We use this technique coming from the anterior segment, from the sac. We use 25 gauge forceps through the cannula from internal part of the eye to external part to introduce. Of course, it's very important to destroy the amniotic. This was a piece of 80 millimeters amniotic membrane coming through a 25 gauge cannula. So, in conclusion, our hypothesis is the amniotic membrane acts as a basal membrane driving the migration of the light of photoreceptors. For this reason, maybe the size of the patch is very important. It has to cover also all the area of the atrophic. Our work highlights the safety of treatment of the membrane. We have no sign of inflammation, no immunogenic profile, no fibrosis with long-term persistence. We have excellent anatomical results, but mild functional results. Maybe we operate very advanced case. Of course, further studies are necessary to determine the efficacy of this technique. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Steno.